All right. Welcome to Brandov IMO. This is a new channel that I am making that I just, yeah, figured I'd start up. And I just want to be helpful. I want to be helpful for the day that we live in. My name is Brandon. I'm not an expert. I'm not a pastor. I am not a professional gamer. I'm not really anything special. Um, I'm just a guy who loves Jesus and wants to make him known. And I love video games. And I figured this might be a really cool platform to do something special, meet a need. I see a lot of people who are interested in faith, interested in Christianity. And that's the purpose of this channel, is to basically um, provide another doorway for people to hear about Jesus and to learn about his word, the Bible. The tagline for this channel as of this moment is Christ, culture, and casual gaming. And so, Christ, I want to talk about Jesus Christ. I want to talk about his word. I want to talk about doctrine and things that Christians believe. And culture, I want to talk about cultural issues, hot button issues, things that I find aren't being talked about a lot in church. How the Bible actually connects to the issues of the day, how Christians are supposed to respond, and how we're supposed to live. And so I figured that this would be a really good opportunity to just talk about these things. And then casual gaming, of course, is casual gaming. I'm just going to play games. I'm not a pro. I'm just a guy who likes to play video games. Um, I always found the thought behind this channel is basically that I always found that the most fruitful and beneficial conversations that I've had in my life um, were always while I was doing something casually with buddies. And in my younger years, it was a lot of couch gaming. So things like, I don't know, like Halo, Call of Duty, I don't know, anything Nintendo, basically, Mario Kart, stuff like that. I always found that it loosens up the mood. It makes you, a little bit more open to, maybe more intense conversations, deeper conversations. I always had a friend that we would sit down in my basement and we'd set up two different TVs. I had a couple friends actually that I did this with, but we'd set up two different TVs. I would play on one and then he would play on the other. And we would play the same game, usually a single player game that you can't play co-op or split screen. And we'd play our own game and we'd just sit there and we would have great conversations about life, worldview, and the games that we were playing. And so that's my goal for this channel, is to just be a space where people can come in. We can talk about some important issues, some important just biblical topics. And I want this to be a space where discipleship is possible, not only possible, but it actually happens. Ask questions. If you have questions, I'd love to chat with anybody who is, tuning in. I think it'd be a lot of fun. And I also really think that this is an important moment for Christians to engage in these areas, especially in the culture, especially in light of everything that's happened over the last couple of years. I think we need the church to wake up. We need the church to care. We need Christians to care. And we need to respond appropriately to the day that we live in. So that's why I'm here. And every kind of episode, I think the plan is to play some games and I'll have a topic prepared, more or less. It'll be pretty, again, casual. Just something to talk about. This one, I'm just going to play some games. It's going to be a short stream. I'm going to play some Halo 3. As of streaming this is the 18th anniversary of Halo 3. So I figure, why not start with Halo 3? And yeah, we'll just kind of see what happens. So why don't we get into it a little bit? It's gonna have some fun. Again, very casual. Starting off with some Halo 3. Yeah, I know. I'm starting off with the first mission, opening cutscene, all that kind of stuff. And yes, I'm playing on normal. This is not a professional channel. If someone watches this and says, come on, be courageous, play on heroic, I'll play on heroic, but I have no intention of suffering through this whole process. Halo 3 is one of those games that I feel like everything looked... oh, cool. I feel like everything looked way better when I was younger.
They let me pick. Did I ever tell you that?
One of the reasons why I'm going to pick the games that I'm going to pick, partially because I think they're really fun and I just enjoy them. Another reason why I'm going to play the games that I'm going to play is because I think some games out there have really explicit Christian themes, Halo being one of them. I just listened to a podcast that had Marty O'Donnell, who was he composed and worked on the Halo games, at least the first number when Bungie was making these games, and I was surprised at how much he actually spoke about his faith. I'm like, oh, I guess it kind of makes sense. You know, this game is chock full, and all of the Halo games are chock full of biblical references and subtle themes. Actually, not so subtle themes, very explicit themes. So that kind of helps stir up some conversations. And I can't guarantee I'm going to watch every single cutscene, so I apologize in advance if you really, really like to watch all cutscenes. This just won't be the case.
Damn. How far did he fall?
2 kilometers. Easy.
Stay sharp. Gorman?
His armor's locked up. Gel layer could have taken most of the impact. I don't know, Sergeant Major.
I just realized I have some kind of emoji thing that's connecting, or that's, I don't know if it's my camera or if it's YouTube. I'm pretty sure it's just my camera. How do I get rid of that?
Radio for Vito. Heavy lift gear. We're not leaving him here.
Yeah, you're not.
Love it.
Crazy fool. Why do you always jump?
What a good game,
One of
man.
these days, you're gonna
What a
land on
good
something as
score,
stubborn as you
too.
are. And I don't do bits and pieces.
Man, I don't know how to turn that thumbs up thing off, so we're
Where
just
is
going to
she?
deal with it. It's really irritating,
Where's
though.
Cortana?
Don't make a girl a promise if you know you can't keep it.
She stayed behind.
Corporal, make it quick.
Pardon my squeaky chair.
Sorry, sir.
We're a work in
Your
progress
armor's still
here.
in partial lockdown. Look up here, sir. Okay. Now down here. Good. Everything checks out, Sergeant Major.
Kick off the training wheels, Corporal. He's good to go.
I always thought that was just a funny intro to the game. You're kicked out of a cutscene for like 15 seconds, and then you're right back into a cutscene.
Come on now. We've got enough to
Just
worry
to move
about
the stick
without
up and
you
down.
Trying to kill each other.
Were it so easy. We must go. The brutes have our scent.
And they must love the smell of green.
I'm going to turn down the volume of the game in my own ears for a moment. Don't want to get too distracted. Do a couple of missions. Nothing too crazy, nothing too long, not too drawn out.
First squad, you're my scouts. Move out, quiet as you can.
It's been so long. All right. Yep. So Halo is one of those games that has a ton of religious themes in it. It's all, you know, very Christian themed. The words, the wording that they use, the titles for all of the, you know, enemies, for the forerunners as well. It's all very, very Christian, or at least like the titles are very Christian. So that'll instigate a lot of, you know, moments, conversations, just things to think about.
Johnson, you be advised. Hostiles are on the move. I've got eyes on a brute. Over. Say again, Gunny. You're breaking up.
So, vision of this channel:
Sergeant Major.
Christ, culture, casual gaming. I did not duck. Oh yeah. Not Call of Duty controls or Battlefield. Christ, culture, casual gaming. First and foremost, I guess we can just I can talk about who I am and what I believe. We're talking about Christ, so I don't want to. Oh, he jumped down quick. We're talking about Christ. I am a Christian. I'm unapologetically Christian. I love Jesus. I have put my faith in him, and I'm going to do another conversation about what that actually means. But yeah, I am a Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ. He is my my Lord. He is my Savior. He saved me from my sins. Again, we'll talk about that, what that actually means. And I guess I can go more specifically into what kind of Christian I am, because I know there's a lot of denominations. Sometimes people are confused, and they are, they're like, what? It's oh, what's that movie? What's the movie called again? The movie, it's not. Was it Civil War? I think it's just called Civil War. It's like, what kind of American are you? It's like, what kind of Christian are you? So I am a Protestant Christian. I'm a bit of a theological mutt, as in, I feel like I don't fit great into some camps. I'm not like, a unique denomination or whatever. Like, I don't pretend to know more than every other denomination that's ever existed before me. I just feel like the denomination that I'm in currently, it doesn't reflect my theology perfectly, but I've decided that there are some compromises that I'm willing to make for the sake of fellowshipping with fellow believers. So I am a Protestant. That means I'm not a Roman Catholic. I'm not an Eastern Orthodox Christian. I would subscribe to the, five solas, if you know what those are. And yeah, I guess you can call me some kind of a Baptist. And Baptists get a bad rap, but I would consider myself some form of Baptist. Do with that what you will.
Sleepers! Take them out. Nice and quiet.
So, I think, I would subscribe to all of the primary issues that define Christianity over the past 2,000 years. There are, I'll do another talk about this at some point, but there are primary issues that unite all Christians. There are secondary issues that many Christians can disagree over, even though they're very serious. And then third rank or tertiary issues that Christians can disagree over, and there's no serious theological implications or, any major problems. You're not going to call someone a heretic for disagreeing on a tertiary issue, or, fourth rank, or I think it's quaternary issue, something like that. So I would, of course, hold to all the primary beliefs of the Christian faith. So that would mean I believe that Jesus is God incarnate, the second person of the Trinity, God the Son. I believe that he is eternal, co-eternal with the Father and the Holy Spirit. He's not a created being. I would believe in, the Orthodox views. By Orthodox, I mean just right views, historic Christian views on the resurrection. I'm going to go dual wield for now. Haven't done that yet. Historic views on the resurrection, so a literal bodily resurrection. of Jesus, I hold pretty firmly, like greatly. I take the Great Commission very seriously. What else would be a primary issue? Yeah, like Trinity. I believe in the Trinity, of course. No, I didn't save him. Yeah, so I would consider myself, I mean, I'm a Protestant Christian. There's a lot of intramural debates and you know, in-house debates on theology. Oh, is the battle rifle over here? Yeah, there we go. There's a lot of in-house debates that happen within Christianity, and those are totally fine. There's nothing wrong necessarily with disagreements. I think that disagreements are helpful to, you know, help us arrive at the truth. So without going into, you know, extreme detail on that kind of stuff, on the nuances of Protestantism versus Roman Catholicism or Orthodoxy, I'm a Protestant Christian, and I go to church, and I love my church. Church is not a bad thing, guys. I feel like there's a stigma. Here, my least favorite part about Halo 3, the Cortana moments. Thanks, Cortana. Appreciate you. Where was I? What was I talking about?
Pelicans are at the river. We got company.
I want my battle rifle ammo. That's what I want. So, yeah. I guess I should press there. Now I'm recording. So, I feel like this is gonna be boring. I think I need to play on heroic, just to make things interesting. But this is the first level too, so it might get a little bit more complicated and challenging later on. Halo 3 was not that hard of a game though. I remember playing through it on Legendary, back on my Xbox 360, and it was not a hard game. I wonder if I can get up there. I can't remember if I can. Yeah, he can. Yeah, it was not a hard game to beat on heroic for sure. On Legendary, I think it was there were moments that were tough. Like we're coming up to, you know, Jackal Alley, Sniper Alley in this game very soon, and I remember that being very frustrating, even in co-op, because I was doing it in co-op. I'm just gonna not waste my ammo. Oh. Yeah, I love church. I know there's a lot of people. There's like it's not as big nowadays. I feel like a lot of people who are interested in Christianity are finally going back to the idea of church. They're not looking at the church as a net negative, the institution. I think the institution of church is wonderful. And if you are a Christian who's listening to this, you should be a part of your local church. If, you know, obviously, you know, what does that mean? It means if your church does membership, becoming a member of your local church, and that means accountability. It's not just for perks. It is for accountability and for your own benefit. Yeah, hello, get out of here.
My bird's down. Half a click downriver from your position.
Jackals on the ridge. Stay low. Looks like they've got carbines.
Carbines or beam rifles. Dude's callouts are weak. Oh, hello. Yeah, carbines. I thought that they had beam rifles, but yeah, no, they have carbines. All right, no, your callouts are good. My bad.
You want breakfast? You gotta catch it.
Hey, Johnson. Yeah, join the church. If anything, again, for accountability. A good church will keep you accountable. A good church will help you in your walk with Christ. Make sure that they are, like, it's pastored well. You're the one who's shooting at me. Find a good church with a good pastor who preaches the Bible. Don't get hung up on, you know, things like, is every sermon an expository sermon or stuff like that. Just, if you're a Christian listening to this, and again, I'm sorry if you're not a Christian, like, what's an expository sermon? Don't worry about that. You should just go to church as well. But, that's a good topic. Why don't we talk about that really quick? The church is not for the unbeliever. I think we should discuss that really briefly. So there was a movement that was extremely popular in, was there more? No. There was a movement that was extremely popular kind of in the early 2000s, going through the, 2010s-ish, kind of ending. I think its heyday ended probably somewhere around like 2016 or so. 2016 was, there's a lot that happened in 2016, but 2016 was not the death of this movement, but it was, the beginning of the end. And that movement is called the seeker-sensitive movement. I think the seeker-sensitive movement has done more damage to the church than we can actually, statistically understand or account for. We've just so essentially it's ecclesiology, it's church philosophy, like philosophy of ministry. I used to go to a church that was more seeker-sensitive, was the phrase. And all seeker-sensitive means is that the church that you're attending, they will use strategies and avoid language. They will use strategies that are attractional. They'll try to get people to come to church, specifically not just like Christians, but they're going to try and get non-Christians to come to church, with the hope, the noble goal. Oh, got hit by the box. The noble goal of getting people to come to church so that way they can be evangelized to and saved. That's another thing. I believe in salvation by grace alone, through faith alone. I know that there's differences of opinions. That's too bad. He went invincible. With our, Roman Catholic and Orthodox friends, but yes, by grace alone, through faith alone is my position. So a lot of seeker-sensitive churches, they were trying to just get people in the door, and baptized. Just get out of here. We're gonna grab the hammer because that's more interesting. They wanted to get people into the door, and to get non-Christians into the door, they would attract them with, with methods like specific types of music. Oftentimes it wouldn't just be, high quality worship music, or, great musicianship, or good visuals. It was, pop music, playing pop music in church, trying to get people, non-Christians, to feel more comfortable in church. That movement I think that I'm getting ahead of myself. I think it's a bad idea, number one. Yeah, this is too easy. I think I need to go on to heroic just to keep things interesting. I just want to get through these boring levels. These are not my favorite levels in Halo. Ooh, jeez, where'd that come from? So, what else would they use? You see videos sometimes of churches that, will have like trapeze artists in their services, or kind of crazy theatrics happening, and that's attractional methodology. And that doesn't necessarily mean that church is I don't know. It doesn't mean that church is seeker sensitive in its overall philosophy. It just means that they maybe have a lot of money to spare, which is a bit annoying, but that's a whole other conversation. What I find is the most destructive of the seeker-sensitive movement is the fact that they would, pastors who are preaching there and, you know, leading classes, stuff like that, they disciple their flock, they shepherd their flock by removing language and not using language that could be confusing or, you know, quote-unquote stumbling blocks for the non-Christian. So that means some churches would avoid saying words like sin. They would avoid using words like repentance or even preaching the concept of repentance because they didn't want people to feel guilty when they came into church. They want them to feel comfortable and come back. They would, you know, they would keep their Sunday mornings extremely surface level. And by that, I mean, you know, essentially you're just teaching this vague concept that, you know, Jesus loves you, God loves you, and he's got a plan for your life. You don't talk about difficult issues and, you know, discipleship conversations that, you know, would be extremely beneficial and applicable to a Christian who's doing life as a Christian. You know, you're not going in depth about that kind of stuff. Really, all you're doing in these contexts is you're basically skimming the surface, staying very safe with your language. You're not going into deep theology, and your application is, again, safe when it comes to cultural issues. Because you don't know who's going to be inside in your service. And so you're less likely to talk about things that are controversial, or, you know, hard sayings of Jesus, or, you know, the apostles, or, you know, you're not going to talk about more.
Contact is Pelican dropship, Kilo 23, over.
Roger that.
You're not going to talk about issues that are a bit more touchy, like from the Old Testament. You're not going to go over Old Testament scripture, and it's just because the Bible is filled with uncomfortable truths and uncomfortable stories. And so, anyway, without rambling, because I feel like I'm already doing that, I believe that the proper, you know, ecclesiology or church philosophy would be to disciple the people that are in your church that are Christians, because the church is not a gathering of just random people. The church is a gathering of believers. The church is, you know, the people, but the church is also an institution, and is an institution filled with Christians. You don't enter into the church unless you are a Christian. You can enter into a church building if you're not a Christian, but you're not part of the, you know, invisible church is kind of the term for it, if you're not a Christian. So when you cater your church to the non-believer, I would argue that you're no longer functioning as a church. You're not actually training the people that are there for the training. You're basically giving people, you know, a preview, and you're constantly giving them a preview for sometimes, you know, years, if not decades. And sometimes what happens is people will leave because they say they're not being fed. They're not getting taught anything beyond surface level, and then they're guilted into either sticking around or, you know, whatever. They leave all frustrated. So anyway, that's a whole other conversation. There's a deeper conversation to be had about that. But yeah, go to church and find a church that teaches the Bible unapologetically. And that will deal with the difficult issues. And you don't have to get like super heady and like scholarly theological in your Sunday morning context. You don't have to do that necessarily. But make sure you're discipling Christians. Make sure you're teaching Christians. That's me speaking to pastors right now, basically. But if you're looking for a church, go to a church that cares deeply about the Bible and cares deeply about teaching people what the Bible says and how to apply it to their day-to-day lives, and what that means for society as well. So make sure you go to a church that does that and doesn't just tell you on a weekly basis, you know, Jesus loves you and he has a plan for your life. Or, you know, every single week it's basically like, you know, here's 10 biblical steps to improve your finances. Like, those aren't bad. I'm not against what's called topical sermons. I'm not against that, but just make sure there's something a little bit deeper than that as your, you know, week to week Sunday morning. Let's go back to, I would say, I mean,
for the tight squeeze.
this
Delta Commander
game
aces in the hole.
has a lot of great levels. This one, I don't think is one of them. It's between this one, like Floodgate is okay. Cortana's terrible.
No way. A Spartan?
For real. You better not be.
Oh man, he's here. We're gonna be
Where did you
all right.
find him?
Napping, out back.
I'll bet. It's good to see you.
Man,
Likewise.
I feel like I go through Halo
Let's get
once
you up to
every
speed.
year when I actually have time.
The Prophet of Truth's ships breached the lunar perimeter.
I very rarely have
Smashed
time, though.
what was left of the home fleet. Terrestrial casualties from the subsequent bombardment were extreme. Truth could have landed anywhere, but he committed all his forces here, East Africa, the ruins of New Mombasa. Then they started digging.
What about Halo?
We stopped it, but only temporarily. Now the Prophet of Truth is looking for something called the Ark, where he'll be able to fire all the Halo rings. If he succeeds, humanity, the Covenant, every sentient being in the galaxy.
The rings will kill us all.
Ma'am, I have Lord Hood.
There you
Patching
go.
through.
You got the Covenant,
Good as it gets.
Halo. I mean, Halo is just kind of like a vague religious reference. Prophets.
Sir,
Glad to hear.
It's so fun to listen to all of the references in Halo.
I wasn't sure we could pull it off.
Truth's ships are clustered above the excavation site, and his infantry has deployed anti-aircraft batteries around the perimeter. But if we neutralize one of the batteries, punch a hole in Truth's defenses,
I'll initiate a low-level strike. Hit him right where it hurts. I only have a handful of ships, Master Chief. It's a big risk, but I'm confident.
Hell, not again.
emergency generators, now!
Shielding failed. They're down and charging.
As soon as they're up, re-establish contact with Lord Hood. Let him know.
All of you vermin, cowering in the dirt, thinking, what, I wonder, that you might escape the coming
This
fire?
was probably the, oh man, I feel bad because I forget the actor's name, the voice actor's name, who does the Prophet of Truth in this one.
Even your demon
But it was disappointing to hear this voice on the Prophet of Truth compared to Halo 2. Halo 2's Prophet of Truth was just awesome. I love that a lot.
journey
This one's okay. It's not great. It's not my favorite.
is the will of the gods. And I am their instrument.
Cocky bastard just loves to run his mouth.
does he usually mention me?
It's so interesting. Okay, so I mean, I
Give
just
the order,
I
closing
like
shot.
thinking about this kind of stuff.
We're
It's
about to get
nerdy, but
All
The
personnel.
wounded.
yeah, just the
We're
religious
getting all of them out.
imagery in this.
I'm have to carry him myself.
Ma'am,
you know.
squad leaders are requesting a rally point. Where
The
should they
Prophet of
go?
Truth. I mean, I'm pretty sure like he kind of knows that everything that he's saying isn't true. He's got he's got his doubts. He keeps secrets from the rest of the Covenant,
Motion trackers?
but he believes that he's being. It's it's like every false religion out there.
Any of our birds squawking?
They are
No, ma'am.
convinced that God, or the gods, plural, in this case, but it's
Any birds
applicable
less
to
than
other
5 minutes out?
religions.
Bring them in. Tell everything else to
They
scatter.
believe that God has given them special revelation,
Pelicans are gonna take some time to load.
We knew they'd find
special revelation to do some kind of task. And that's every single false religion out there. Again, so this is a good start. I'm not a pluralist. I'm not a syncretist. I believe that
Don't worry about the commander.
Jesus Christ is the only way to God,
But the Marines downstairs could use your help.
and that Christianity is true. And if Christianity is true, that means all other religions are false.
Follow me, sir.
Perimeter's this way.
And so every other false religion out there, they would do very similar. They would speak in very similar ways, with lots of conviction that they believe that God is telling them to do these things and act a certain way, or accomplish certain goals. But in the end, if you believe in Christianity, historic Christianity, then you have to believe that they are all false religions that are either listening to their own desires as humans, as man, or there's a spiritual realm where there's demons as well. There's evil spirits, there's Satan, and they're all, whether it's demonic forces or it's just the human heart, they're all looking for ways to corrupt what is good, and do what God says is evil. So that'd be a good example. Like Covenant is a great example. The Covenant in Halo is a great example of that. They are misguided, believe that they are on a divine mission. Yeah, they believe they're on a divine mission. And that divine mission includes essentially wiping out other races that would defy them and defy their religion. I'm getting the hang of this again. I think the feel is so different from modern games, but I think I'll play until the next mission. I'll do Savo Highway. That's one of my favorite missions. I'm not going to play every single game, though, all the way through, or, in sequence. I'm not going to, just stream Halo 3, and then once I finished it, I'll move on to the next one. I'm going to basically just play whatever I want, or whatever is requested. If someone messages and says, hey, this would be a really good game, then maybe I'll check it out. Games that I want to play, though, Halo, Tears of the Kingdom, I love, Legend of Zelda games. I was going to run up and get a quick look at the battle cruiser, but I'm getting shot at, so let's get on the turret. And because I'm on normal difficulty, I can very easily... Nope. Oops. Spoke way too soon there. Oh man, it brought me all the way back. That's annoying. Let's try that again. Come on. Alright, now we'll go back. Grenades. Get the turret out of here. 1, 2. Now we're in good shape. Let's get the brute first. So I talked a little bit about the first part of the kind of tagline of the channel that I'm running with for now. So Christ, culture, casual gaming. Let's talk about culture really quick. Culture is one of those things that's it's a very tough issue to cover nowadays because cultural issues are so polarizing. I have a lot of opinions, hence the channel name. It's Brandov IMO. Brandov is just a nickname that I was given. IMO, in my opinion. But Christians need to be engaged in culture. They have to. And by engaged in culture, I don't necessarily mean that, you're fighting every single culture war, that every issue is as big of an issue as, not every issue is a salvation issue, basically. I just love sorry, I'm just going to go on an aside really quick. The ships in the original Halo games, so much better than the new Halo games. I'm sorry, but Halo Infinite, man, the ships are boring. They're not fun to look at. They're not intimidating. They all look the same. All right, back on track. The church does need to get into some culture wars, not engage in all of them, because some culture and like politics, stuff like that, it's not always necessary. But what I've been saying for a while, and I've started hearing more people say it, which is great. It's not an original thought. I'm not taking credit for anything like that. But, you know, if Christ... the church is not getting political. Politics is becoming theological. Or politics is engaging in the moral sphere, where the church used to be the arbiter of. The church used to be the moral compass of the state and of civilization, of culture.
Sir, this way.
See if I can save this guy.
Look, coming out of the vents.
Gotcha.
Light 'em up. Light 'em up. What the hell are those things, Sergeant? Drones.
So the church used to be the moral filter for all of society. All right, get out of here. And so, oh, that's not cover. So the church used to be the moral filter. Lately, the church is not acting as the moral filter, the moral compass for society. The state has kind of taken that into its own hands. And because the church has done such a, in my opinion, poor job of pushing back on that encroachment upon the church's sphere of authority, different worldviews have now become the filter through which people in the culture and the state look through in order to determine what is right and wrong. I think that's a bad thing. What? Don't throw grenades. What are you doing? Oh, just shoot him. Don't throw a grenade at him. So we need to engage in those areas to kind of retake that territory, not for political gain's sake, not just so we can, you know, win culture wars for fun, but primarily because I do believe that there is a responsibility of the church to advocate for justice and goodness. I want to take away. I want to take the advocacy for justice mantle. I want to take that away from the secular left. And even from the progressive Christians, quote unquote. I want to take that back because is it Micah or Malachi? One of the two. We are commissioned. At least Israel was, and I think it carries on today because Jesus does care about the those who are, you know, needy, brokenhearted. I think there is a call for justice and compassion on the Christian. They must do these things. And I think we should be advocating for policies and cultural, I guess, mood shifts that would swing culture back in the right direction. Oh, sweet, I got him. Back in the right direction. And there's a lot of debate on how we are to do that. Are we supposed to, you know, force it? Or are we supposed to, you know, engage in democratic processes and just hope for the best? And I'm not going to engage in middle ground isms, but I do think that the church has a role to play, and that role looks more like primarily making disciples. And if I had to summarize our role in culture, it would be the church is responsible for making disciples, and if we succeed in that mandate, which we are very clearly mandated to do by Christ, if we succeed in making disciples of all nations, like the Great Commission says, we should expect to see a Christian culture and a Christian state in some degree. Again, we can talk more deeply about what that state looks like, what the, you know, form of government looks like. but that's what it should look like, ideally. A culture and a state that reflects the morals of Christianity. There's a skull back there I didn't need to grab, but... Hey, Arbiter. What's up? So, that is the responsibility of the Christian in the culture, is the church is to make disciples. And when the church makes disciples, those disciples will act and live in accordance with biblical values. And those biblical values will be transferred to public life and true justice. Not social justice or, weird forms of injustice that masquerades as justice. Kind of like the left, the political left, and even the theological left advocate for. So I'm not on that train. And I'm willing to have conversations about that kind of stuff. But I'm not there. That's not me. I don't believe that's historic Christianity either. To advocate for a lot of the things that the progressive left and the progressive Christians advocate for nowadays. So. Get ready, this won't be easy. So culture. Christians should engage in culture. So my goal would be to engage in culture in a beneficial way. To talk about cultural issues, talk about political issues, talk about the hot button issues that that the Bible does say things about. We got to talk about them. That'd be issues like sexuality. That'd be issues like life. That'd be issues like, that would be issue. I do think like even economics plays into those things because, we talk about justice and caring for the poor. Well, there's different systems that would do it better or worse. I think Christians should speak into that. So it would be a mistake. It would be a mistake in my mind if we were to abandon the culture and just leave it for the secular left. Or even the secular right to dictate what happens there. Hope that makes sense. So that's the cultural side. We should engage in the culture. We should preach about the culture. And then the third element is casual gaming. Games are fun. And a great way to unwind. Oh, this is my least favorite part of this whole mission. Commander, is the landing pad.
We lost the op center. Brutes attacked in force.
So,
couldn't hold them all. But don't wait for us.
Should I do, ma'am? Hold position. I'm not leaving without you.
The games that I play are not going to be, exclusively like family-friendly games or anything like that. I'm not going to be like rated G the whole time, or E for everyone, not G. E for everyone. That's video games. We're not going to be E for everyone. I'm going to play games that make sense, games that have good themes, games that are just good. I don't want to be all like touchy and, pharisaical about the games that we play, or the games that I play. I'm not going to play games that are, I would say explicitly, like, they would cause people to stumble in very obvious ways. Coming out very soon is, well, not very soon. Who knows when it's going to come out, but soon-ish. I think there's a sniper up there, actually. Coming out very soon-ish is GTA 6. I'm probably not going to play GTA 6. I don't know. I played GTA 5, but I feel like maybe my convictions changed. There's a lot of, in the GTA series, glorification of violence that doesn't really serve a story purpose, or doesn't have to serve a story purpose. It's just excessive. Not to mention there's a lot of sexual themes that I just don't think are helpful. So, That'd be one of the games I wouldn't play. But I'm very open to playing other games that are just fun and again have some kind of religious theme, maybe. But I'm not gonna pigeonhole myself into that. I'll just play whatever game is fun, and we'll just chat about it. And the whole point, again, like I said at the beginning, is to feel like we're just kind of hanging out. You know, I had some really good conversations when I was younger, and really, oh no, dang it, that was dumb. Really fond memories, really fond memories of just playing video games with buddies and having great life conversations. Oh wow, thanks guys, crushed it. Yeah, just having some really good conversations. And when you're playing games or just kind of hanging out like this, I do find that, like, again, the tension gets lifted. Oh, I didn't even know that you were flying this. Cool.
Roots in the op center. Disarmed the bomb. Sorry, Commander, there were too many.
Guard, your guard kind of comes down a little bit.
Get back to the op center.
Pardon the squeaky chair again. Let's change, sit up a little bit.
Gotta get these men out of here.
Yeah, you let your guard down a little bit, in a good way, not in like a, you know, weird way or in a naive way. Is it this way? Do I have to go? I think so. But yeah, your guards get put down, and conversations can just naturally happen because there's common ground with the video game. So that's my whole goal for this this vision, or this vision. Sorry, now I'm getting distracted. That's the whole goal for this channel. It's a vision for this channel, or at least this element of the channel. I don't know. Maybe I'll do, you know, other things on this channel too, like conversations or just I don't know, fun things, interesting things, chats with buddies. I'm so open-ended to what this could be. But right now it's Master Chief with a plasma cannon killing jackals. I feel like a conversation that could be a real rabbit hole is should I be killing aliens or should I be evangelizing to them? Are aliens saved? I don't know, man. We're not going to talk about aliens. That seems really pointless. If someone asks a question about aliens, I will talk about aliens. But I see no point right now to do that. So I'm sorry I brought it up. That was my bad. But we are playing Halo. Oh. Oh. That's annoying. My triggers on my controller here, the noob combo, that you can't charge the plasma pistol with these triggers if you have the triggers on this controller pushed all the way in, so that way they're super sensitive. Oh, and that's throwing off my trigger. There. No more noob combo. And then we're almost at Savo Highway.
That did it, Chief. Bombs armed.
We got your exit. A service elevator in the hangar. Head downstairs, cut through the caves.
So I'm thinking the next video I do might, I kind of want to talk about the gospel. I kind of want to start very broad. Talk about the, you know, most important elements and most unifying elements of Christianity. I kind of want those moments and those conversations to be discipleship for people who are new to the faith. I know that there's a lot of people who are actually going to be interested in Christianity now. I want to be a voice. I want to do my part to make Jesus known and to build his kingdom here. So lately, Am I even going the right way? Is there a way to do a waypoint in this game? I can't remember. Yeah. Kill you there. There's a lot of people interested in Christianity right now because of the current events. A couple of those examples, we got tons of wars going on. People are nervous about the wars that are currently happening in Ukraine and Israel and Gaza. I think people are tired and a little nervous for their economic futures as well right now. It's kind of unpredictable. I'm in Canada, and it's definitely unpredictable here. And in more recent news, the assassination of Charlie Kirk is, in my opinion, a cultural moment that is, I don't have to. I can just wait. I can just run. The assassination of Charlie Kirk is a cultural moment that I think it'll be like definitional in a way for my generation, like for my age group. It's very important, and I'm going to actually just take a moment and talk about that. The assassination of Charlie Kirk represents, unfortunately, just an escalation in rhetoric and violence. So a lot of people are going around saying that Charlie Kirk was not a martyr. I believe he was a martyr. He didn't say the things that he said because he just came to those ideas himself. He came to those conclusions because of his Christian faith. I believe he was martyred. He said the things that he said because he believed that they were true and derived from Scripture, not from clever philosophy or, utilitarianism. He came to those conclusions because of his beliefs in Scripture. So, I believe he was martyred. I believe he was killed because of the logical conclusions and applications of his faith. And I think a lot of people, after seeing that, when you watch his memorial service, the amount of people that heard the gospel after that, and again, I think next stream I'll talk a little bit more about what the gospel is, but the amount of people that heard the gospel when they watched that memorial service, 100,000 people there, plus, millions, tens of millions. I think I saw one number, 100 million people potentially watch that live. I think the church needs to be ready. I forget who said it. Man, I wish I remember who said it. But basically, someone said that it was something along the lines of, churches that avoided politics. You didn't talk about politics. Well, politics is now what is bringing millions of people to your church, or dozens of people to your individual church. You didn't want to talk about it. Well, now it just instigated a massive, call it an awakening. Maybe not quite an awakening yet. We got to wait and see. I'm very hesitant to talk about things like revivals or awakenings until we see evidence of that. But there's going to be a lot of people who are interested in Christianity and in faith. And if you're watching right now and you're interested in Christianity, I would, number one, recommend that you go to a local church that does not have a pride flag flying from it. Make sure that they are going to preach the Bible. And keep tuning into this live stream. Find other live streams as well. I think there's some really, really helpful people. I think Cross Examined is a great organization. Frank Turek, he spoke at Charlie Kirk's memorial service. So if you watch that service, go check out Frank Turek, Frank Turek, and Cross Examined. And oh man, there's so many others. I don't know why I can't think of them. I should have written them down. I mean, For the Gospel is another one I can think of. Mike Winger is one of my favorite Bible teachers. Inspiring Philosophy. They're really good at doing what's called apologetics, which is defense of the Christian faith. Check them out. But all that being said, if you're interested in Christianity, go to a local church. Check out those channels. There's others that I'll continue to, plug as this stream continues and as I do it more often. But we need to be ready for a potentially massive influx of curious people who don't want attractional church nonsense like we talked about earlier. They want to know what it is that guys like Charlie Kirk believed in that pushed them to live the way that they did and then die for their beliefs. So we need to be ready for that. And so if you are watching this and you are among those people, please come and talk to, go talk to a pastor, join in again, send a message here, and we'll chat. I think it'd be really fun. I love that kind of stuff. Obviously, that's why I'm here. Okay. Why don't we do one more level and then I'm going to call it a night because it's getting late for me. It's 12:16 right now. So let's go back to some Halo. Savo Highway.
What happened?
Pardon me, getting over a cold. Didn't mean to give you disgusting ASMR of my stuffy nose.
Find transport. Head to the town.
Well, I guess I can kind of talk. I'll see if I can find a battle rifle. Battle rifle ammo, yeah. I guess we can kind of talk about me. It feels a little weird, self-promotional in a weird way, but maybe you can get to know me a little bit better.
You can walk. Set your boots on the line.
There we go. I am.
Chief's got the right idea. Let's mount up.
I'm a Christian. I love.
Let's go.
I love video games, but I also like video games. To me, are like a lot of people they love sports, or they love watching TV. I hate watching TV. I love watching sports, but I don't do it regularly. So, yeah, I like video games as my kind of lazy, relaxing outlet. And I kind of figured, I might as well be productive while I'm doing my lazy outlet. So here I am. I am also I'm a musician and kind of audio engineer. Do that kind of stuff for fun. Do it for some extra cash. It's enjoyable. I can talk maybe about my story a little bit. I might as well. This mission I do remember being very difficult playing on Legendary, just because there's so much going on. If you don't have a good teammate, or you're basically just stuck with the AI, there's a lot of enemies with rockets and stuff that will just completely destroy you. Or snipers will just snipe you straight out, so you gotta kind of stay unpredictable. It's unpredictable, whatever. They could, in theory, just lock onto you if they programmed them that way, but that's what it feels like when you're on Legendary or Mythic, so I won't be doing that. That's not fun to me. I play games to have fun. Sometimes I play games to, for a challenge or to, achieve some kind of goal. A game that I actually enjoyed playing, but I kind of cheesed it a little bit, but I played it on its, critical mode, was Kingdom Hearts 3. I played through that on critical mode so I can get the one keyblade that you get when you play that game on critical mode, the Oblivion, and that was frustrating. But I cheesed it, and I got the Ultima weapon first, and then just did the I think it's shot lock, is that what it's called? I did the Ultima weapon shot lock basically. Just a whole bunch. I just cheesed that entire game, and I got the Oblivion, but it was still very difficult. You know, you couldn't do that all the time, so you still had to survive, play against the bosses, all that kind of stuff. It was enjoyable, but challenging. Now I want this chopper. So I can briefly talk about my testimony really quickly. Maybe we can go more in depth at another time, but for now, I'll say born and raised in a Christian home. I feel like I hear that all the time at my church at baptisms for people, but I actually think that that's a really... I used to be kind of, not ashamed, but, you know, bored by my own testimony. You know, saying like, I was born and raised in a Christian home. I didn't have, you know, a crazy conversion story. And I used to think that way, or that testimony was boring. And now I see it as a blessing. I'm very glad that I didn't have an incredibly dramatic story, because that would have meant that I had a you know, much more colorful past. And I pray that my children will have a boring testimony as well. All right, that's not working. So I was born and raised in a Christian home. My parents are still believers, and you know, we went to church. Love my parents, and there was no. I would say there was never a time that I can think back where I didn't believe in God or trust in Jesus in whatever, you know, way that meant back when I was like, you know, whatever, pre-10 years old. I love this moment right now. This is like, Bungie was so good at these kinds of moments. Driving, and then you got a battle cruiser that flies over like that, and then I smash into the rail. But those are just such cool moments in these games. I feel like they didn't do those nearly as well when they had when 343 took over. See if I can get over. Yeah, stop.
Master Chief, finally a good connection. Truth has excavated a Forerunner artifact. We have to assume it's the Ark.
Keep pushing to the town of Boise. Resupply birds will meet you next
So yeah, I was born and raised in a Christian home. My parents love Jesus. I love Jesus. I don't remember a time in my life where I didn't believe in God or trust in Jesus. And that means, oh geez, that means different things at different points in life, right? Like, you don't have the same level of, you know, intellectual knowledge of Jesus, of course, and the Bible. You know, you're not affirming, you know, very complex truths on like the hypostatic union or anything like that, fancy theological words. You're just not doing that when you're, you know, that age. But as far as I was aware, and as far as back as I can remember, there wasn't a time where I couldn't, you know, I wouldn't call myself some kind of, you know, Christian. I didn't have a rebellious stage. I had I got my own sinful past that I will gladly talk about again in another stream. But yeah, like, I do feel extremely blessed, truly blessed, that I don't have a crazy conversion story, and I'm thankful that other people can, you know, relate, I guess, to people who have darker pasts, because I can't. Like, when I'm, you know, talking with people or praying with people or talking about you know, difficult issues or, you know, whatever, I tend to not be able to, you know, I have a hard time seeing their perspective. just because I didn't engage in that. Like, I wasn't a drinker, I didn't party, I didn't smoke, literally didn't do anything. I've never done a drug in my life. And again, that's not me boasting in myself. Like, it sounds very Christianese, but I'm just very thankful to God that I didn't have that. Then there was a time, though. What happened was, that's not good. There is a moment where a lot of things changed in my life. There's a massive shift that happened. And what happened was, my brother was diagnosed with cancer when I would have been like 12-ish, 12 or 13, 12. Yeah, I would have been 12. And my brother was 10. And I feel like I don't know if I... Oh my goodness. Bring some levity into this conversation. I'm gonna get rid of these towers first.
Pelicans coming in.
Brutes have plenty of armor between here and Boyd, Chief. With this warthog should help you punch on through.
So, yeah, so my brother was diagnosed with cancer when he was young, when he was 12 and I was 14. Or, sorry, when I was 12 and he was 10. And he, fought, and eventually he passed away when I was 14, and he just turned 13. We were 2 months apart. 2 years, whatever. There's two months. So he was 13 when he passed away, and I was 14. Wait. I should probably know that. He wasn't 13. He was 12, and I was 13, about to turn 14. That's what it was. So, it's been a long time, man. Oh, wow, I didn't even see you. So he passed away, and it was kind of weird. I feel like thinking back to that, I feel like I was more just like numb to it because it was such a long time coming. We saw rapid deterioration. I didn't learn until after he passed away that his odds for survival were extremely low. I think it was 2%. I didn't know that at the time. But seeing him suffer just kind of numbs you, right? So when he eventually passed away, I feel like I didn't really process it in a great way, and I never really I didn't fall away, and I didn't walk away from Christ, but I did have a lot of questions. I was very confused, very frustrated. Didn't really talk to anybody about it. I didn't really feel the need to, but I just got really passive about a lot of things in life. And so I didn't really take faith super seriously through high school. Like I believed. Dang it. That's what the hard part was when we were playing this in Legendary, is the choppers. Because they are vicious. Yeah, so I did not fall away. I did not abandon Christ. I did not, apostatize. But I did have a lot of questions. But I kind of pushed them back. I didn't really think about them too much. I just figured I would just do high school, just have fun, and just kind of get through it. So I went through high school. I cared. I wasn't completely passive, but I didn't take things as serious as I probably should have, looking back. And then ultimately, I get to university age, and I start to care a little bit more about these questions that I'm asking myself. How could God allow evil things? The common questions that I think every Christian needs to wrestle with. Oh my goodness, where is this coming from? That's not good. I think I'm gonna... Oh, he just drove off the edge. Oof. the common questions that most Christians will wrestle with at some point in their life. And that's what got me into apologetics. I started looking for the answers to these tough questions. And I feel like I eventually started finding them. Oh yeah, keep going forward. Come on, fall off. Gotcha. So I asked these hard questions. And I started finding resources that helped me get the answers to those questions. Felt more firm in my faith. About halfway through high school, in grade 10, I got baptized. I was baptized as a baby, but then my theology changed on that, and I got rebaptized at grade 10. And in university, I started asking more complex questions, started getting more complex answers. I went to a secular university and then eventually realized I didn't want to do the thing that I was going to school for. And so I decided to go to school for theology. I would say I took that semi-seriously. I should have taken it more seriously at the time. But yeah, I have a degree in religion and theology. And I'm very thankful for that. And I would say my life has been all the elements in my life, all the things that have happened to me in my life have, culminated in some kind of ministry calling. I don't really know what that looks like. Don't know what it is. But my time in school with a theology degree. I've been working in churches for a long time now as well. Like probably the last, almost like basically 10 years. I just, without rambling again, it's just a testament to, I would say, God's faithfulness in my life, and His provision, providing the answers when I needed it, not when I, He knew when I would be ready to receive, and so I received the answers I was looking for. Problem of evil, answering the questions, why did this happen to my brother, all that kind of stuff. And then, now I feel like I want to glorify Him, and I want to make Him known, and I want to help people. And one of the ways that I enjoy helping people is through teaching and equipping and training. So that's kind of what this is. And this first stream will kind of be this is the first take one of trying to do this on the internet. So this video will be available online. Oh, hello there. Play a little bit more of Halo 3. Maybe tomorrow. Try and come up with some clips or something. Hey, we did it. I don't know how to do the YouTube thing. I'm not good at it. I guess we'll see. I'll try and get better. All right, here we go. This is what I love about this game. Again, the ships, the size, the scale. It's so good.
Fully uncovered, sir.
The Ark. When we come back next time, I'm going to talk about the Ark and its religious connection and symbolism. There is, I love that. Like, again, like the ships are just so creative and so fun.
One final effort is all that remains.
And the music is great. It's a vibe. Nice. Well, I think we can call it a night. It's not bad. An hour and 24 minutes for a first stream. I see some guys stream for like 7 hours. That's crazy. Well, thanks for watching. If you have learned anything or you feel like you've benefited in any way from watching this, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and join me. Oh my goodness. So it is 100%. It's maybe not 100%. It's maybe something in my camera, my webcam. Got to get rid of that. Don't do that anymore. Like and subscribe, and comment, and come back next time. Subscribe and then hit the bell, and then you'll see when we go live. And when I'm live, feel free to drop a chat and start asking questions and just contribute. We can have some good conversations. That'd be a lot of fun. I'd love to do that. Yeah, let's do it again sometime. So have a great night, and I will see you next time.